God dang.
Ooh la la la.
Good morning, Swing World, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Friday, May 17th, 2024. This is The Drop. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this one's for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my Top Shot Hot Boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo.
Hey-yo. And over yonder, back on the ones and twos, it's Eshua Kid.
How y'all doing?
What's up, Esh?
Hello.
Shout out to everyone joining us live on YouTube and all our podcast listeners on today's drop. We're going to get you set for all of the weekend playoff action, the win or go home games. Taz, you got a batch of worst of the week nominees.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll end with some rapid fire fun. But first, hit the Zaza, Esh.
We're going to Game 7, baby! Game 7! Game 7!
Nothing easy indeed, Zaza. Anthony Edwards and the Wolves dismantling the Nuggets last night, 115-70. A 45-point victory in Game 6 to force a Game 7 on Sunday. So we at least have one in this second round task. But man, we had some epic runs here from the Wolves. We had a 20-0 run in the first quarter, a 13-0 run in the second quarter, and a 24-0 run in the fourth quarter. That's how you get to a 45-point victory.
Yeah, what a dud. I think for us as basketball fans, turning it on and seeing such a smash, I was getting a little weird thinking about Timberwolves fans out there. Do you think they would rather see a 5-point victory, so they can go afterwards and talk about this is what happened, or would they rather have a spanking like this? I don't know.
It was pretty loud in the arena.
But they had a great arena. They would not sit down for the entire game. That was fun. And what was really weird is that Nuggets started up 9-2 in this game. It looked like they were going under right. The Timberwolves say, whoo, timeout. They get back on the floor. Jaden McDaniels was friggin' awesome, hitting that three to start it, that run, which was 29-5 to end the first quarter, and then they just did not give up after that. And I thought Nikola Jokic obviously was doubled more, but he could have obviously shot more, but I thought he was trying to get other guys going. I thought he was trying to get Jamal Murray going, who out of that timeout after he hit his elbow, so I don't know if that was a part of it, but he laid a terrible bounce pass that turned into an Anthony Edwards dunk at the other end, and I thought Nikola Jokic easily could have had a defensive rebound. He could have put two hands on it, but instead he popped it out because Jamal Murray was out there and he wanted to get him going. Jamal Murray was kind of like 35 feet away from the hoop and didn't go anywhere near the ball. Minnesota turns it into another basket. Yeah, Jamal Murray just in general, obviously, a terrible night. And I bring up the elbow thing. Maybe he just wasn't in a good flow. But we have seen bad games from Jamal Murray this whole postseason. He obviously started this game very poorly, 1 of 8 from half.
And he was missing bunnies there,
He
too.
airballed the
Open
layup.
shots.
Yeah.
That was wild to see him. He was like looking at the hoop. He was sort of on the baseline looking at the hoop like 4 feet away. How he missed by feet.
Yeah, he missed by like a foot
Yeah.
in front of the rim. That was such a weird play.
That was so weird. And it was so weird that in a Game 6, after we just talked about Nikola Jokic being the MVP, he was literally exited the game at 9.5 minutes left and was just standing there. I don't think I've ever seen Nikola Jokic just stand there and watch. He stood there for so long by the bench along the baseline, just standing there. He must be focused on Game 7, which I think is a good sign for the Denver Nuggets going into Game 7 because they have lost a Game 7 before. This was years back. And apparently after the game, the coaches went into a meeting in their office. Nikola Jokic knocked on the door. Excuse me. They opened the door. He said, I'm never going to let that happen again.
We'll see.
He didn't.
We will see.
They're undefeated in the Game 7 since.
Right,
I heard the guys on the DNVR podcast say that. I'm not 100% true. I'm not 100% confident it's true, but I'm pretty confident it's true. That Nikola Jokic
would never lie. Adam Morris, he's a good guy.
No, they would never lie. No, that's years ago that they played in Game 7. They didn't have to play a Game 7 last year. But obviously, you expect them to turn it around, and especially one of the support guys. One of the guys needed to turn around. I know it could have been Aaron Gordon, but he was even forcing it, seeing him shoot threes that early in a shot clock. They were just trying to force it. Obviously, impressive win for the Timberwolves, though.
Oh, my God. They held Denver to 30.2% shooting overall, under 20% from three. They won the rebounding battle, by a million. They won the turnover battle. And the 45-point margin of victory, the second largest in NBA history by a team facing elimination in a postseason game. They didn't lose. If they lost that game, they're going home. But, man, yeah, after that 9-2 run to start the game, it was sort of over. It was sort of wild. I brought up all those runs. I guess we could just say they went on a 115-70 run in Game 6 because it wasn't close for a majority of this game. Your takeaways, though?
I think this is just an incredible response from the Timberwolves. They get up 2-0. Everybody's loving it. Maybe they're the championship favorites. Then they get smacked 3 straight games. To come back and blow out the Nuggets like this, I think was awesome. The Timberwolves were just completely locked in. I thought you could tell with Anthony Edwards when he hit Michael Porter Jr. with the hesitation, gets to the rim, throws down a huge dunk. They cut to him. He's not smiling. That guy smiles after every play. He was completely committed to this game. And the 20-0 run, I thought, was kind of indicative of everything that happened for the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. The 50-50 balls were going Minnesota's way. They got 3 offensive rebounds turned into 11 in the first half. I really only looked at first half statistics.
Yeah,
that's all you
the
need.
second half, who cares? But also, they were going from good to great offensively. I thought Minnesota was. They got 4 assists on 7 made field goals during the 20-0 run. They had 12 on 21 makes in the first half. They also forced 3 turnovers. Denver had 7 in the first half. That's not throwing in like Jaden McDaniels blocking Jamal Murray's shot and going the other way. So I just thought that little stretch of game was exactly what the rest of the game was. And then, the score was what the score was. 80 points is not very many for the Nuggets. And they scored 70 in this game. That's incredible. And I thought the Timberwolves defense was so good. They weren't giving up switches to allow Jokic to attack Gobert one-on-one.
No.
That doesn't work, so they didn't do it. They stayed attached to Nikola Jokic in pick and roll, so he couldn't get into the short roll and distribute to people. Then, anytime anybody else besides Jokic or Murray was handling the ball, they said, go for it.
Yeah.
Let's see what you can do, Aaron Gordon. Let's see what you got, Christian Brown. They didn't have it in this game, so it was really tough on Jokic and on Murray. And then when Jokic would catch the ball in the post, we're double teaming you. Anybody else can try and beat us, and nobody else was able to beat the Timberwolves.
Yep, they definitely sent those doubles early and often, and then the rotations were awesome when that ball was kicked out, and then nobody could score, and help out Jokic there. He only had 2 assists in 35 minutes. It's important when you try and get an assist, someone has to score. That's the last I checked. So, yeah, that was very, very low. That's his lowest postseason total since 2021. Only 2 assists for him. But, man, it was nice to have Mike Conley back for the Wolves as well.
time.
We saw how they played Anthony Edwards in Game 5, talking about doubling him and just running a second guy at him, making him get the ball out of his hands. He was touching the ball a lot more in that game because he sort of had to be the point guard. But you just get Conley back there, that vet guy. He chipped in, scoring 13 points, 5 of 9 shooting, 5 assists, 4 boards, 0 turnovers. And, they couldn't stop talking about having Mike Conley back in the lineup. Ant and Finch and everybody just having that steady, sound guy. And it takes a little bit of more ball handling pressure off of Anthony Edwards to allow him to cook more. So he should be good to go, I would assume, for Game 7, and that's huge for Minnesota's chances.
Yeah, I loved how Conley had an open 3 to take, but Edwards was also available in the corner, so he said, no, this is your team. You take it. He was doing the right thing, the smart thing, and as Trey was saying, Edwards was not forcing it by any means, but getting guys involved like Jaden McDaniels, who was awesome in this game, who had the post-game interview alongside Anthony Edwards in this game because he was 8 for 10 and was doing all those offensive things and defensive things, how he was just doing everything. And I got some stats from the third quarter, but like you said, Trey, what is the point? They obliterated them, and it continued into the third quarter, which was a little surprising because you wouldn't expect that to happen. But yeah, Jaden McDaniels was awesome. There were so many moves. Anthony Edwards going by Michael Porter. Also, the Anthony Edwards using the Steph Curry move where it looks like he's about to collect the ball with one hand, like he comes back up slowly, looks like the second hand is coming to stop the ball, but he dribbles down and goes back. A beautiful move, beautiful, cool move. They were just awesome in this game, obviously, but Anthony Edwards was looking for other guys to get it going, and man, those guys stepped up. Jokic just needed one of Gordon or Murray, and Murray seemed like the more logical guy. He had the opportunities, as you said. A lot of missed open shots.
Sure.
Now, he could have been physically, whatever. I don't want to make excuses for him. And he said afterwards, I just didn't. I blame myself, is what he said. So, TBD on a Game 7 performance from Jamal Murray, because after a stinker, he does he does come back with a good one.
Yeah, 4 of 18 Jamal Murray in this game. 10 points, missing easy looks at the rim. He's averaging 20 points on 50% shooting, including 42% from deep in the wins in this series. He's averaging like under 12 points per game, shooting 26% in the losses. He's going to be pretty important, I think, there in Game 7, how he goes, and especially early. He's such a rhythm player, so that'll be something to watch. But you got McDaniels all over you, and they're obviously focusing on you. That's going to be tough because he was great. You said it, 8 for 10. Ant said he's the X factor. When that guy plays well, nobody can beat us, to paraphrase what Anthony Edwards said, because, he's out there for defense. Well, he's chipping in 21 points, and he's hitting some threes, keeping the D honest.
He's their Aaron Gordon.
That's big. Yeah, for sure.
When we went through the guys who could beat Aaron Gordon, be like a third guy right now that's a star. Jay McDaniels just fits it. Scotty Barnes, as we've talked about, those kind of guys, they fit it. Like, they can do it all.
The only takeaway I had from the third quarter was that scary fall from Anthony Edwards.
Oh, yeah.
Where I was like,
Very
my
scary.
God. That guy fell from like 8 feet out of the air onto his back or his ass or his tailbone. And then he just lied there for a long time and he wasn't moving. He was on his stomach and everyone's like sort of coming up and checking on him. And you're like, oh, my God, no, not this. And then
didn't miss a second of game time, right?
No,
Yeah.
and then he looked like he was moving around okay. Like it was good and it's fine. And again, we should have fairly healthy teams here, as much as you can be healthy at this point in the postseason for Game 7. And we don't even know when they're playing.
We do not.
On Sunday. We know it's Sunday, but we don't know if it's in the afternoon or at night. It depends on what happens in the Eastern Conference semifinals matchup between the Knicks and Pacers. If the Knicks win tonight, Game 7 between the Wolves and Nuggets, that's an afternoon game. 3:30 p.m. Eastern. If the Pacers win on Friday night tonight, Game 7 between the Wolves and Nuggets, it goes to the night slot. It goes to 8 p.m. Eastern. So afternoon game, ABC. Night game, TNT. For Wolves versus the Nuggets.
Interesting.
Yeah, a little interesting. So also of note, Game 7 will take place 20 years to the day after the only other Game 7 in Wolves history. May 19th, 2004 was when Minnesota defeated Sacramento to advance to the Western Conference Finals. I think it's Kevin Garnett's birthday, too.
Wow, really?
I think so. Yeah.
Is he going to fly to Denver?
Huh. I don't know. I don't know. I doubt it, I guess.
Yeah. He used to be Glenn Taylor's friend for a day, but not anymore, I don't think.
Yeah,
But you
fair
said,
enough. I guess they had J.R. Ryder and Tom Gugliotta there
That's right.
for the Timberwolves. I mean, you got to bring back Kevin Garnett.
Well, you got
to.
It was-
Anthony Edwards wearing his finger sleeve.
Yeah.
The 21 finger sleeve.
Right.
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez, the potential majority owner of this team, along with Mark Lowry, was the guy who greeted Anthony Edwards right after the game. That was, I don't know, just interesting to see. A-Rod just like go up and talk to him as soon as he was done the interview. He was the guy who talked to him.
Was Glenn Taylor there last night?
Yes.
He was, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Because I know he was there for the at least one of the games, probably both of them, 3 and 4.
Yeah, he was there.
Okay.
He's there. He doesn't sit anywhere close to Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez, the guys who are supposed to get the team, that's for sure. But obviously, yeah, the fans were rocking and, again, not sitting for a long period of time in this game. The offensive rebounds stood out like crazy for the Timberwolves, how they were just doing it to the Denver Nuggets over and over and over again. And you could tell the difference between Game 5, where we saw that Aaron Gordon fade away and Rudy Gobert gives him feet, like way too much space. And he hit that fadeaway, and that was just a perfect night for Aaron Gordon. In this game, Rudy Gobert, I don't know if he partially blocked it, but it was such a similar fadeaway, and it was either just a bad air ball or Rudy Gobert got a little finger on it. They were contesting everything.
Yeah.
In the box score, it doesn't go down as a block, but in my heart, it was a block. It sure felt like it. I think maybe the statistician missed that one, but they were there. They were there all night.
And so that'll be something to watch in Game 7. They're going to stick with Karl Anthony Towns on Jokic, so Rudy Gobert, he can roam more and he can contest all those shots around the rim, even get in the heads of guys like Jamal Murray and everyone attacking. But can Cat, stay out of foul trouble, not lose his cool, because he's a big-ass dude. We'd sort of like, Jokic is a monster, and really no one can stop him, but Cat has the size and sort of the weight to like hold his own and do a decent enough job until that double comes and try and speed him up a little bit. So it's just whether or not he can, sort of stay out of foul trouble and stay calm and continue obviously on the offensive end, which he's been great too. It's like his shooting splits are unreal.
Yeah, Cat is huge for the Wolves, obviously, because like you're saying, like Gobert does what he can against Jokic, but the thing that Cat brings is he does bring a little bit more physicality. I feel like than Gobert does, just because as soon as Jokic catches it, Cat is going like chest to shoulder as soon as he possibly can. He takes the bumps. That's how he plays on offense too, right? The guy's flailing and smashing into people on both ends of the court, so they need him to stay healthy. And definitely a little nerves, I would think, for Timberwolves fans. Karl Anthony Towns going into a Game 7. We'll see how he turns out. I think he's had a pretty solid series here. Who's going to have a better game between Jokic and Anthony Edwards? Anthony Edwards, first Game 7. Come on, that's going to be exciting to watch. The guy came through on his very first ever playoff guarantee. He told some random dude, I'll see you here for Game 7. He didn't guarantee we'll win Game 7, but I'll see you there.
And he's right.
He will be there. And is Michael Porter Jr. going to play in this series?
Oh, my.
Has he got minutes yet?
He was so good in the series prior, and he's done nothing.
First quarter, Game 3. I remember seeing him out there.
Yeah. And he had a couple breakaway dunks in this game last night.
Oh.
He had like two sort of early transition baskets, and then that was it. He was invisible.
He was killing it in that 9-2 run that they started their game. He had 2 buckets, but he defensively, it looks like the guy who was played off the floor in past years. Like, he doesn't look like he's all that comfortable, and he's moving a little too fast on offense. He's speeding himself up, it looks like, and missing.
Mm-hmm. So do you have a prediction here for Game 7, either in the afternoon or on Sunday night?
Yeah, for Denver fans. In Denver, it would be a 3:30 Eastern game, so 1:30 local. That kind of sucks if it's an afternoon game.
So 1:30 or 2:30? Where are they? Oh, yeah.
Mountain time.
Mountain time.
Jeez, you're right.
1:30, get out to the game. Or 6 p.m. local or an 8 p.m. I like them to turn it around. I mean, it's at home. I think you get that advantage. I'll take Denver.
Okay.
This one.
TK.
I mean, it's a coin flip.
It is.
It's a coin flip, and the Nuggets have home court advantage. And the last time they got smacked, they bounced back. So I would go with Denver as well. But, man, the 2 best words in sports coming Sunday. Swim meet.
Oh, no. Are you going to miss this game? You're going to have to watch it on tape delay? Like we're back in the 80s?
Yeah. In the bullpen.
Hey, hold on. It's supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain this weekend here in Atlanta.
We swim in the rain.
Oh, no. You can't swim in the rain.
As long as you can see the bottom of the pool, we're swimming. If there's no lightning in the sky, no kids at the bottom, we're going crazy in the lanes. So I will be rooting for the Pacers.
Okay.
I'll be rooting for the Pacers in Game 6 because I would much rather see this one.
At night. I gotcha. All right. Well, we'll be watching regardless of whenever it is on Sunday, and we'll be, of course, talking about it on Monday. And let's get it close, Game 7. And Game 7s are usually ugly.
Yes,
They're dogfights.
Yes, they are.
In fact, I remember when I was going through Jokic's best playoff games of all time, I slipped it in there. There was a Game 7 that jumped out to me that he had a good game. He didn't shoot the ball well, but it was like a 90-86 score. It feels like it's going to be something like that. And hopefully it is. We don't have one team sort of blowing the other team, and we want a close one. They're in Denver, but can't wait.
Yeah, besides Jokic, you have to look at another Nugget if they're going to win. And like Trey just made me think of after the Game 2 performance where the Nuggets were horrendous. Jamal Murray was 3 of 18 in that game, came out for an 11 of 21 in the following game.
Yeah.
So here in Game 6, he was 4 of 18. TBD. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, this is what's so fun about this Game 7. Jamal Murray has more times than not shown up in big games and come through. And then, we get Anthony Edwards' first Game 7 where he literally called his shot. We'll see you back here. And, he doesn't seem like a guy that's going to be afraid of the moment at all. So, and then, of course, I'm not even talking about the 3-time MVP in Jokic, who's done well in Game 7s, going 3-1 overall in his career. So, I can't wait. Let's talk about some of those other games, though, this weekend, starting tonight. What's something you're watching for in Knicks-Pacers Game 6? And do you I know you want, but do you like the chances of Indiana getting this to a Game 7?
I think the Pacers have won 10 straight home games, dating back to the regular season. Haven't lost in the playoffs at home, so good stuff from the Pacers to actually have a home court advantage. They definitely are more able to play their style of game, I think, at home, and they get good shooting performances, so I think that's going to be big. The big question for me, though, is can the Pacers slow down Jalen Brunson literally at all? The guy is unstoppable right now. Aaron Nesmith had a little bit of success in Games 3 and 4, but it apparently takes 2 games for Jalen Brunson to figure out how to score against a lengthy defender. So if he's on Brunson, that gives him a chance. But the Knicks did a really good job of doing guard, screen and roll with Deuce McBride and Jalen Brunson, basically either getting Halliburton or Andrew Nembhard on
Jalen
Brunson,
Yeah.
and neither of those guys can stick him. So I wonder how the Pacers are going to deal with that sort of thing. Are they just going to say, all right, Nesmith, you got to fight as hard as you possibly can. We can't give up this switch, so you stay on him. Are they going to play TJ McConnell more than Nembhard? Maybe that happens. Maybe Tyrese Halliburton guards Josh Hart, so then the Knicks have to bring Josh Hart into the action. You're not quite as scared of him as a shooter. There are some options there, but limiting Brunson a little bit, like the Pacers got to do something. The guy can't go for 40 again. I would accept 35.
Got to keep him under 40.
Yeah, keep him under 40 and under 50% from the field.
Yeah, that is obviously huge. And Brunson's just been so damn good. So coming off a 44-point game, you would hope he has some sort of slow night if you're the Pacers.
He was bad in Indiana.
Yeah.
For those 2 games.
Right.
He couldn't score.
So that is obviously the thing that they're hoping for, and they're hoping for massive energy from all their players. Obviously, no OG Anunoby again here in game number 6. But yes, they are undefeated in the postseason at home. Obviously, their fans help them out, and their depth should help. But this is also a new game. As you said, the guard-to-guard pick has really helped them out in game 5, where Miles McBride was starting for the first time. And so that is something the Pacers should learn from going from game 5 to game 6. So how that all plans out.
They also need to do, obviously, this goes without saying really, a much better job on the glass, where they got annihilated in game 5. They gave up 20 offensive rebounds. Hartenstein had 12 himself.
Silly.
They just had so many more shot attempts than the Pacers did. So Indy's got to at least get a little better at getting stops and getting the rebounds. Otherwise, you're going to look like crap and you're just going to get embarrassed. 62-36 for points in the paint in Game 5 for New York. Just nearly, or doubling them up there almost.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
The glass, that's sort of a no-brainer. The Pacers had 18 turnovers in Game 5, and I went back and watched a lot of them. They're just some sloppy, dropping the ball, miscommunication where you're just throwing, there was one where Halliburton's trying to start the transition break, he just throws it out of bounds. He's thinking McConnell's going to run. There was another one where Turner just threw it out of bounds. I think he thought Nesmith was coming out to the 3-point line. Just botched opportunities, and that's not what they do. The Pacers play a very fast, loose game, so you think, they must have a ton of turnovers. They actually don't. They have a very low turnover rate for a team that plays as fast as they do. And they've been good throughout most of this series, but 18, it's just too many. And then you add that to all the offensive rebounds for the Knicks.
A lot
brutal.
of extra possessions.
So they got to take care of the ball a little bit better, and I think they will here at home, and they have, again, through most of the series and a lot of the regular season. But
right.
those are back-breaking plays where you're just dropping it and throwing it out of bounds. You got to give yourself a chance to score.
Yeah, it felt like the Knicks' energies made the Pacers speed up and make some mistakes for sure. And it is incredible when you see 100 shots was made by one team.
Yes.
That is so many shots. It was because the Knicks were getting those offensive boards.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. But Sam Mitchell, our old Raptors coach, I had a flashback to Sam Mitchell yelling at his guys, more shots to get to 100. That was his goal, get to 100. And that means your team is playing freaking hard, and that's going to change going into Indiana. Not to simplify it, but home court advantage does do something, so TBD on that one.
So the Knicks, one victory away from reaching the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2000, if they can pull this off. Tonight,
Nice.
or on Sunday, they'll get another crack. Look, nobody's going to be upset with a Game 7 in Madison Square Garden.
Exactly
so,
right.
I hope the Pacers put up a fight here at least tonight and maybe give us another one there. We'd get 2 on Sunday.
Well, speaking of getting another crack at it, that's another question I have. Who on the Knicks is going to cut an epic fart before the game to inspire the team? Because Fred Katz reported that somebody in the locker room cut a very long, very loud, very scent-free fart before the game.
Pure comedy fart.
They stared at this man and said, everybody just looked at him. He said, must be something wrong with the pipes here. I texted Fred. I was trying to get him to reveal the information. He won't say who it is.
He won't say.
No.
Do we have, who's the favorite here?
I mean, a lot of people think it's Josh Hart.
Okay.
Some people think it's Isaiah Schartenstein.
Okay.
It's Josh Hart. The guy's funny, man.
Yeah.
The guy's the funniest player in the league.
Man.
Who else would you expect farting at a key moment in the locker room like that? Brings the team together.
Yeah. But maybe you would think the opposite, not sort of the class clown guy, but more, like a Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Like a stoic guy that suddenly rips a 4-second fart, and I was like, oh, this guy's loose.
Yeah, it's like Joe Montana in the Super Bowl against Cincinnati Bengals.
Sure.
They're getting ready for their fourth quarter drive. He looks into the stands. He said, hey, look, there's John Candy.
That's right.
And they went down. Dwight Clark, the catch.
That's right.
Jalen Brunson, the fart. Put it on a shirt.
That's unbelievable that, number one, you didn't say your great line about Jalen Brunson. Isaiah fart, Schartenstein, but Brunson Burner.
Brunson Burner? Yeah. I was also thinking maybe this is why they call him Deuce McBride.
Ooh.
Why do they, man?
Little too
you guys
loose.
got two cool names. Miles McBride, very cool
It's a
name.
very great
Deuce
name.
McBride, also awesome.
Just shocking that Fred Katz wouldn't reveal it. There was other reporters in there. There's so many reporters in there. That's the shocking part of me. You want to get some clicks. You would think the New York Post, they're all there, but I guess they didn't want to reveal it. Reporting, man, that's journalism for you. Will not reveal the farter.
Sources. Who farted?
That's going to be like whenever the Knicks are finally eliminated, that'll be the lead for Shams' article.
Yeah.
It was Josh Hart who did the fart, and that's the whole thing.
It was a mid-May game. All right, well, we also have another game this weekend. This one's on Saturday night. So, Friday night basketball, Saturday night basketball, and then we'll find out how many games on Sunday. But Thunder-Mavericks, you get us started here. What's something you're watching for in this one as Dallas tries to close this out at home?
Right. Who is going to perform on the road for OKC here? Because Shea has been an absolute rock in this series. He has been very, very solid. It's the number 2. It's the J-Dub that everyone's waiting for. I know he's got a big job guarding Kyrie a lot of the time, but he just has not been himself for a lot of these games, the last 3. Going backwards, it's 12, 14, and 16, 5-4-3 in those performances. So he needs to be back. Obviously, with the new starting lineup, if Daigneault goes again with Isaiah Joe instead of Josh Giddey, there's one man that it is understandable why they leave Lou Dort open. That's the only guy. That's the one man they're going to leave open. And so looking forward to seeing that, what he can do, because he's going to continue to shoot. He is a decent three-point shooter this year. He just needs to hit a couple more, because last game they were just bad. It felt like the Dort was open there in OKC because it was drafty. It was like being in the New York locker room, I guess. It was airy because he was just bad. And he was comfortable doing it. So they just need somebody.
They need somebody to hit some three-point shots.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's true.
They're 32.7% from 3 in this series, and they led the league in three-point shooting during the regular season, almost 39%. So that's a big question. Can Oklahoma City make open shots? Because the open shots will be there for a Dort. Even Jalen Williams gets open looks, but he's not really a catch-and-shoot player, and I think that's part of the strategy for Dallas is, he's going to catch the ball. He might have a look, but we're at least going to have a chance to close out on him. So I think that's a question mark is, can Jalen Williams have a big game? And on the flip side, I think, can Kyrie Irving have a big game? He hasn't really put his mark on this series yet. He's averaging 14 points per game, 45% from the field, 44 from 3. When he shoots it, he's shooting it really well, but he's definitely been more in distributor mode. Shea's going to show up. Luka's going to show up. Who gets the better role player performances and who gets the better second star performance?
Yeah, I wrote down in my notes, OKC's got to stop the Derricks, both of them, because they were both great in Game 5. They combined for 30 points, Derrick Jones Jr. and Derek Lively II. Those guys are out there for defensive reasons. So for them to combine for a 30-piece was huge, especially Jones Jr. hitting threes. He had 19 points, throwing down the alley-oops. He was throwing down those oops in OKC. Imagine he throws down a couple of those in Dallas. The roof will blow off that place. And then Lively chipped in 11 points, 10 boards. They went to hack a Lively again. It didn't matter. He stepped up there and knocked him down. So, yeah, of course, stopping those role players, but those guys particularly, they can't be putting up 30 on you. And really, it's either been Derrick Jones Jr. or it's been P.J. Washington, right? In most of these games, as we've talked about Dallas sort of owning this series. Shut those guys off. It might be the case of, you've done a decent job on Kyrie, and Luka's going to be Luka and probably get his. Maybe it's not on good efficiency you're going to hope for, but these other guys, you got to take away all these threes, these corner threes that it sort of lights out when these guys are knocking down. So we'll see. Can't wait. That's Saturday night. You guys swim meet on Saturday in the afternoon?
No way.
No. Okay, good. Anything else from any of these games?
Yeah, not to oversimplify it, but this is the Thunder's biggest game here with this young team on the road. This is a very big game. Now, I know Shea has played in some playoff games, but not as a number one guy. And Lou Dort has been there as well. Otherwise, the J-Dub, the Chet, and whoever the fifth, the Isaiah Joes, they haven't been there together. So this is big for them. Yeah.
And look, the Mavericks have two of the best closers we've ever seen in Luka. And Kyrie is no slouch. You're right. You're a little terrified if you're a Thunder fan that, like, is Kyrie going to pick this one to sort of go off in a run there in a second half or something where he, like, goes on his personal 8-0 run with, like, an insane highlight that you're like, oh, God, and then he's shooting with his left hand just to mock us. It's like, that could be coming. But they've done a good job of slowing him down. And he's just looking to be a facilitator as well. You're right, TK. So we'll see what they can do. Would you make a prediction on this? Do you think this one goes 7 as well, or do you like Dallas at home and the way they've really, again, outplayed them for majority of the series?
I'm taking Dallas, I suppose, just because the Derricks will probably be better at home, too. Even they're not going to falter off, I don't think. The energy will be there for those guys. I want to see a 7-game series, but it feels like Dallas is going to win this.
TK?
I mean, I picked Mavs in 6, so that's looking nice for me.
Okay. Well, I took Thunder in 7, so go OKC.
Me
too. All right, so hopefully we get some close games. That's what we're really looking for over the weekend. Let's get to Worst of the Week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Worst of the Week.
3 nominees this week. You guys tell me who should be named Worst of the Week. First one, keeping it basketball, the Detroit Pistons. And their lack of NBA draft lottery luck. Because 2 seasons ago, the Pistons, can't say Pistons, finished with the worst record in the NBA 2 years ago. And in the draft lottery, they dropped to 5th. Last year, Pistons finished with the worst record in the NBA. I made a mistake in my notes here. Let me go back on that. Can you just re-rack that? Ash, let's just do that again.
Run it back, Turbo.
Yeah, 2 seasons ago, the Pistons finished with the 3rd worst record in the NBA. At the draft lottery, they ended up with the 5th pick. Last year, the Pistons finished with the worst record in the NBA. They dropped to the 5th pick, back-to-back. All right, so this year, worst record in the NBA, they got to be feeling good, right? Got to be feeling good. Go into that draft lottery. And they drop to 5th again. Hawks get number 1. Regardless, the Pistons back-to-back seasons of number 5 after finishing 3rd worst, and then 2 worst records in the NBA. That's it. Yeah. That's it. That's a nominee. Just had to keep it super simple with that one. It's not super juicy. There are not a ton of headlines, but that's just what it is.
I apologized when I saw a Pistons fan at our basketball run last night. I said, man, sorry about that. That sucks. He goes, head down. Yeah, I know. We're always drafting 5th. It doesn't matter how we feel.
Always drafting 5th.
So I was like, yeah, that sucks. I mean, especially when you had like the longest losing streak in NBA history at a point during this season. And these new lottery odds have not been kind to Detroit.
I mean, they have a 50-50 chance, basically, of keeping a top 4 pick or dropping to 5. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you flip a coin and it just keeps coming up tails, even though that's not how the probabilities are supposed to work. It happens, though.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, you see people are like, oh, they got to blow it up. They got to tank. You think Pistons fans are happy that they tanked?
Right, exactly.
The year they did get the number 1 pick, it's like question marks about, is this guy even a number 1 pick? Then it's like 5. You're telling me my team is supposed to trade everybody to be terrible and be a joke for an entire season?
Right.
Then draft 5th again? Then be a joke for another season? Then draft 5th again?
Jaden Ivey a couple years ago, Sark Thompson last year in the number 5 spot. They're still bad.
Oh, yeah.
Either way.
Those are fine players, but really it's
players.
Missing out or not winning the number 1 pick to get Wembanyama to completely change your franchise. But yeah.
You'd take Paolo over Cade, too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Look at the number 1 picks recently.
Yeah.
TBD. Can't wait for a month from now for another draft, which is over 2 dates. Remember,
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes, one draft round number 1 on one day, and then the second round, I guess, is the only thing on the second day. I guess.
Did you say? Hold on. You said the lottery is the only thing on the day 1.
No,
or is
I don't
first
think
round.
So. I would assume it's the first round. Maybe it's the lottery.
Probably the first round. I mean, I won't be watching the second round, so it doesn't matter.
Well, that's why they
swim meet.
Swim meet. Yeah. I'm joining the swim team, so I don't have to watch the second round of the NBA draft.
Second nominee, it's an interesting one here. I want to get your opinion on Draymond Green. Specifically, when he was on TNT for a couple games this week. Now, he's there to provide some analysis, but he provided some spicy takes that people were upset about. So he did a couple things. The first one was after Nikola Jokic scored 40 against Rudy Gobert, he tore apart Rudy Gobert's post-game press conference. He said, look, Rudy's out there saying in his native language, we got to be better. But it's got to be him. It's on him. So people like that. People were excited that he said we. It's kind of a good line.
I guess.
But you're going at him. And then the second instance, instead of going at Rudy Gobert in that way, Alex Caruso was actually on the TNT set, and Alex Caruso said no one can stop Jokic. Draymond said, I disagree. I've guarded him better, and then he did in his support here. He did say, I didn't say that I could stop him entirely, but I did say I could guard him a little bit better. And Charles Barkley was having some fun with him and saying, "Don't go there, don't go there, don't go there." And he basically said, yeah, I can guard him better. If you look at the stats this season, they played each other one game. Draymond was playing the center at the time. It's February. The Warriors needed a win, and Jokic went off. He had himself a game, 32, 16, and 16. In a game the Warriors needed. They needed wins there at the end of the season, and it didn't happen. So he said he has proof that he guards Jokic better than other guys, but the proof this year was not there, and it's freaking Nikola Jokic. So anyway, any takes either on the Rudy line or this other line that made people mad, or just in general?
People just don't like him on Inside the NBA. There's that too. A lot of people.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
And then the other part is like current players being allowed to be on the national broadcast. There's that debate as well. And yes, in general, the love or anti-love for Draymond Green is obviously apparent after those comments and him going after Rudy Gobert, who, let's be quite honest, he doesn't like.
Yeah, your bias is showing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a fine line between sort of cutting humor and then just mean-spirited, like, axe grinding. And it always felt, and this is my opinion, that more times than not, he's leaning just towards, I hate this guy, so I'm going to take any chance to knock him down when talking about Rudy Gobert. And it's like, it comes off as a little, like, quite frankly, like, embarrassing and sad. And it's like, all right, we get it, man. You don't like him. You put him in a chokehold not that long ago, and you're just continuing, despite you're not playing. Your team is out of it, man. Like, you're not even in this, and you're just going to take shot after shot at them. I don't know. It's not great. It's not, and he's not funny. I don't know. It doesn't work. We already got Shaq. And when you add Draymond to the mix there, it's out of balance in my opinion. But that's just my thoughts. They're just trying to get this guy as many television reps as possible so he can eventually take over for Barkley or Shaq maybe down the line. If they even have this show.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't know. Maybe we'll be calling hockey games. Still got the NHL rights, no doubt about that. But Draymond to me does feel like Shaq when he first started on Inside the NBA, like he could not be a butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and he just is fighting back about his legacy the entire time. I mean, it's not really all that different than Shaq going at Rudy Gobert every chance he has, talking about how much money he's made in his career. He told Nikola Jokic to his face a week ago that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should have won MVP. So it's kind of understandable that Draymond would come in thinking, I got to talk trash about these guys that are out there.
Right.
But I don't know. It was not a great showing, I didn't think, from Draymond this past week, and people are definitely out on him as an inside guy right now.
I mean, he also did say, like, after that Game 5 performance from Jokic, like, he was calling it over, right? He was saying it's a wrap. They don't got anything left. There's no belief in them.
In the Wolves,
and they just won by 45 points.
Yeah.
So, whoops on that one. And, like, we all get, predictions wrong, but, like, that's a bad... Like, I wish we had Draymond last night, if I'm being honest.
Sure.
How would he have approached that, Would he swallowed the L and taken it and all that? But we got ESPN instead last night, so...
Yeah, it would have been nice if he was doing the pictures and he actually provided analysis as to how to guard Nikola Jokic as well. That would have been awesome. That's what an analysis is for. Like, take over, Kenny's pictures. Give him the elbow. If Draymond likes to choke people, do it to Kenny. Don't ever do that to Kenny. But I'm saying, like, that would have been nice to see that. But you're definitely right about Shaq basically giving it to Jokic. It would have been great if I won a second MVP, is essentially what he's saying. Like, I should have won a second MVP. And Draymond Green is kind of saying the same thing about Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, exactly right.
I've won one. Rudy, you've got 4. Come on. Look at my freaking ships. I should have won. So.
And look, Shaq is good now on inside. Like, after 10 years, he's very funny. Yep. And he has figured out his role. And it's basically just get Chuck wound up all the time and then occasionally race Kenny.
Yeah, and then he's good for, like, do a weird skit or something. Like we just saw him with the dragon and stuff like that. He was actually acting quite well in that. I couldn't believe it.
But Hollywood
you're
royalty.
Right. He was really bad at the beginning. Yeah. Everybody was like, "Oh, this isn't good. He's ruined the chemistry here." He doesn't know that you can, like, you got to take a joke, man. Mm-hmm. This is what the whole premise of the show is.
Yeah.
But he warmed up to it. But even he still keeps the Shaq in him, right? And good, like, his whole thing is I'm the most dominant ever, so you want him to have that as well. But then when Draymond's added to it, and especially being a current player, again, it's like the balance is out of whack, in my opinion.
I hear you.
For that type of sort of machismo or whatever, or like, trying to knock everybody else. It's like, we want you to criticize them, we want you to explain the game, but it just sounds like you're just sour grapes.
Yeah.
Right.
We want the NBA on TNT to be funny because it has been the funniest.
Oh yeah,
the funniest show for a long time, and for him to allow himself to be the butt of the joke. And if you did watch every single minute that he was on there, to his credit, he did have a couple laughs with Barkley where they were joking around about how Barkley gave it to him in the past, and Barkley again tried to stop him and say, "Don't do it, don't do it." They did have some fun, and so, as the reps come in, he would probably learn to be the butt of the joke and be a former player too, as well. I mean, that's part of it. Because right now, he's in the midst of...
He's in the mix,
being a friggin' NBA player.
The issue with Draymond on TV, and it's like an uphill battle here that he's going to have to, like, obviously get over, is Shaq and Charles are beloved. And they were always beloved, even when they were punching guys on the court and throwing strangers through windows. Like, that's the truth. They were liked. They're likable. Draymond is not as likable to a lot of people. And maybe that's a part of him still being a player, and maybe like 10 years removed that goes away. It probably does, but there's just that at its core, those are more likable guys. So it makes it for more enjoyable television.
If you read, like, I don't know, I haven't actually looked at Charles Barkley's Wikipedia page, but I have to imagine there's like a legal issues section of it with like all the stuff you're talking about, throwing guys through a window, spitting on fans. He did a commercial, "I'm not a role model, literally don't look up to me." And now he's like NBA uncle. Everybody loves him. So people could change,
That's
fine. Let him hold the baby.
But man, after the Jokic game, after seeing Draymond, like, have you been thinking about who could actually guard Jokic ever? Like, who's the guy you would go to?
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw you tweet the Rodman question.
I did use to guard Shaq.
Yeah.
Rodman was the Bulls' go-to for Shaq. And I mean, like, Shaq would still score, but he'd be pushing him and trying all the antics and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think he's in the mix. I think Ben Wallace is in the mix.
Yeah.
And prime Dwight Howard. Like, Dwight guarded Jokic awesome in the bubble. Jokic wasn't quite to his prime. Dwight was past his prime. But if you put both of them up, like, he's strong and quick.
What about Tim Duncan?
Duncan, of course, yeah.
Tim Duncan would be a nice battle.
Yeah. It's the physicality, just to get another half a foot and push him just a little bit more is important. I think Rudy plays behind Jokic a little bit more than a Rodman would, like a really physical person.
I would love to have seen Kevin Garnett try and slow Jokic.
Yeah, I think he's got to be a question mark.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and if the Nuggets do get to the finals, a 7-4 Porzingis guarding him will be interesting too. Just the height will be interesting. Okay, last nominee here. It's the Denver Nuggets mascot, Rocky, because he had a bad performance from midcourt. Now I feel bad. Whoa. These are all cuts together. They're all from the same attempt.
Dude, Rocky, get it up, man.
Now I did cut out the ones where he did hit the backboard once, and he did hit the rim once, but it was a hilariously bad performance.
It's really funny how bad it is.
It is.
And look, we have a lot of evidence of us shooting half-court shots that is equally bad, but that's quite funny.
Yeah, he's at midcourt, and to be clear, he's got his back turned to the bucket. He's doing it backwards.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to do, but mascots have trained for it for so long, and that's why it's surprising because Rocky's good.
I kind of think of him as the innovator of that shot.
I agree. Yeah. It's like if you told me, gun to my head, you got to pick a mascot to hit a half-court shot over their head. I'm picking either him, maybe Benny. They're probably top of my list. Yeah, they seem the most consistent. Maybe the stuff not bad from half. I can't remember. But anyway,
there aren't too many. Yeah. I guess there aren't too many of those guys those mascots that are able to do it.
I know. First off, you got to have the mascot build. Comes into play. Yep. Some of the mascots in the NBA, I mean, I don't know. I guess they could all use their arms and chuck it over their head. But like Clutch, like the Rockets mascot, it's got some girth to him. Does his arms hit the side of the suit? I don't know. Probably not.
I mean, this is stupid. The costume for Rocky is pretty jacked.
That's right? Yeah.
But he's been doing it for a long time. I have to wonder, is it a different person?
Ooh.
They had to call in an understudy.
Maybe the Rocky was sick or something.
The two-hand overhead. That's unusual.
Yeah, they usually go.
Benny always throws
one
hand.
Yeah, keep it more like straight.
Maybe well, you got to do it, man. And we need somebody in there. You're gonna have to shoot the half-court shot. What do? Stand backwards, just throw it over your head. All right.
Yeah,
I could do that. 2 hands, 3 feet short, barely gets 10 feet off.
Yeah, he wasn't giving it a chance at all.
Not even close.
No. So this was Game 5. Denver obviously had Nikola Jokic performing in this game. Mm-hmm. So it was a little jarring. Actually, I hadn't watched it because this was at some point in the broadcast, but our man Jerome sent it. I guess in Canada you could watch, depending on your broadcast, a lot of
in-arena feeds.
Yes, and I watched those as well.
Yeah.
But I definitely wasn't on the TNT broadcast. And
I had never seen this clip until you just showed it.
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, what did Rocky do? I was like, is he okay? But he just can't shoot a half-court shot.
Yes. Or the ESPN broadcast, I should say, was what the game was on. And yes, it was jarring to see how many shots that Rocky missed. It just felt like he would have cashed in. And we're going to watch it one more time here on YouTube.
First one is so bad.
And listen, I cut that because it's so bad. It was not the actual first one that he took.
Okay.
I put it up top because it looked the worst. And
the guy that's gonna catch it, like, here, if I can do it again, man. Jesus Christ, you're not even close.
So it's a tough one, but Pistons, Draymond Green in general, or Rocky the mascot. You tell me on the stream team what you think. Shout out to everybody for your recommendations here. Some good stuff out there.
All right, yeah. Who gets the honor of worst of the week? Let us know.
Pure Publico here on the stream team said, that is not Rocky. LOL.
Oh, wow.
He must know.
We did an investigation. Pablo Torre finds out.
Well, there's
costume.
There's also another infamous Rocky clip where he's like being lowered from the rafters, like passed out. So maybe something happened after that. It changed him or something like that. All right, let us know. Worst of the week. Before we go, let's do some rapid fire fun. Tass has the questions. Myself, Trey, and Esh will be answering. Hey. What do you got here?
For the 6th straight season, the team with the NBA's worst record didn't win the top pick in the draft lottery. It's official. Tanking doesn't work. Name something else that doesn't work. Skeets.
My local post office. They're never open.
Literally don't work.
It's wild. I talk about this on an upcoming Is This Good episode with Matty O and JD, but I will go to mail something to drop it off, and 90% of the time there's a sign on the door explaining why it's closed during normal business hours. We have had internet down. We've had just straight up power down. We've had training in session. Okay, can't you stay open while that's going on? Nope. Isn't that the point? Nope. We've had lunch, just straight up lunch. And the best one, and this one was making the rounds in the the neighborhood Facebook group. Squirrel loose in the back.
That's nuts.
I know. I'm not kidding about any of that. It's to the point now, it's like a bit. Like, I go up, I get out of my car, and there's 2 doors, right? So you walk in the first door, and there's like the P.O. boxes and all that, and then you go in the second door, and that's where the sign is. So you go in the building, but then you're like, squirrel loose. And then I come out, and inevitably somebody else is pulling up, and they see me coming out with my packages, and they go, and it's like, no. And I go, I know. They're never open. And what is it this time? People will say, squirrel loose now. Oh, okay, God damn it. It's crazy. So my local post office.
It's like they're saying, what's the craziest thing we could put on this sign that people will believe?
Yeah.
Squirrel loose. In fact,
That one I lost.
dog ate the mail. Sorry.
Yeah.
Lost all your letters.
It is the worst feeling going into that second set of doors at the post office. I know everybody hates it. Everybody just dreads it. Walk in the first one, okay, fine. The second one, oh, this is where I'm going. I got to see everybody here that doesn't do a good job. It's not a Louis DeJoy being there, that's for sure. Trey, what is your, that's a bad Postmaster joke.
Wow.
Shout out to Larry O'Brien, a former Postmaster General himself.
All right.
Unbelievable.
Trey, you tell me something that's just doesn't work.
As I've gotten older, I've had to take more and more pills. Recently had to add allergy pills.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the blue ones. If you do.
Rose Sparks. Isn't that what those ones are called now? I don't know. Nonetheless,
Sparks.
I see commercials for Rose Sparks. It's
What?
we ain't saying Roman. Everybody knows what Roman means, but you call him Rose Sparks. Don't call me Roe Parrish. You call him Rose Sparks.
Rose Sparks. All I know is
That's when Roe Parrish plays Bubba Sparks in his DJ set.
It's gonna get ugly. Nonetheless, I've got some pills I gotta take, and so I'm like thinking, how can I remember that if I took these? So I'd flip my pill bottle upside down. You took your pills. And then I would get to see my pills later on in the day and be like, did I flip that today or yesterday?
oh yeah.
So I got a pill organizer.
Yeah, you got the days.
Yeah, bro. I got
so
a
you know.
Damn.
pill organizer.
Yeah. I've been there, man.
Sucks.
Yeah, it's horrible.
A pill organizer?
Oh man.
I know.
How old do you feel? Like
100 years old.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna have to sit down every Sunday, count out my pills.
Did you go with the classic super cheap one, like the cheapest one you can buy? Because now they have cool ones I've seen. Instagram wants me to buy a cool pill kit.
How cool are they?
They look like titanium. Like they look.
Mine is plastic, and it's got rainbow colors for the days of the
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
It's got a nice little hinge, nice little pop-up. I'm
Okay.
gonna guarantee that'll break.
Oh, yeah.
But for right now, doing good. And as you heard, I haven't sniffled once today, so I remembered Friday. All good.
All right. Good.
Well, I just had a flashback of all my friends now getting to this age that are talking about their health pills, the blue pills.
Oh, really?
The Cialis. That's what when I see Cialis.
Sierra?
Yeah, I think Sierra. Sierra could easily promote those, but she's not, thankfully. Russell Wilson is good, I guess. Anyway, Ash, what do you got?
First off, Skeets, you get Instagram ads for pill
Yeah,
organizers?
it's called getting old, man.
Yeah, that's the oldest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And I keep thinking about it. I haven't done it yet. I keep thinking, I'm like, that does look cool. You know?
That's insane.
Yeah, titanium. They're just slick looking. I got basically what you got, but I got the generic color.
Like, honestly, tweet us your pictures of your pill organizers.
Yeah.
I want to see who's got the coolest.
Yeah.
Be careful, Ash. I see somebody in the stream team said they're 27. They already got a pill organizer. You're next one.
No, because I only take one pill, and I thought you stole my answer. It's allergy medicine, dude. But it doesn't work. You guys know me for a year. I've been here for a year. Last year at this time, I was sniffling and sneezing the
You
whole
were
time.
coughing and sneezing.
We'd be in an ad break, and Skeets would be like, dude, are you okay?
Yeah.
It's been months, and I'm like, yeah. So, I mean, I'm okay today because I haven't been outside the past 2 days, really. But, soccer season for my kid. Oh my gosh, I'm just over there. I'm trying to help coach, and I'm just, let's go, come on.
Why is that so emotional?
Exactly. So it's allergy medicine.
Yeah.
Just don't believe they work.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Sometimes, yeah.
All pills, man. It's all placebo.
Mind over matter.
That's right.
This allergy season, it also just doesn't smell good outside. Allergies aside, I was on a jog this morning. Every morning now, the odor is different. It's not right.
Nature odor?
It's nature, but it's not a good nature.
Nature odor.
And maybe it's just in the back of my mind because we are all getting allergies. And it's not fun having allergies. All right, next question. The Minnesota Timberwolves started selling towels with 2 big words printed on it. Nas Reed. That's it.
Yeah, I saw one last night. Somebody had one in the
yeah?
crowd. I'm sure there was more than one, but they had a good shot of it. Somebody holding it up.
It's a large towel.
Yeah,
to
it's
bring.
huge.
I think it's 5 feet wide and 2.5 feet tall. That's big.
And you could buy it for a second online, but I think they're sold out.
No, they're back.
Oh, they're back?
They're back.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
They're low on
Low quantities?
yeah, but they're still for sale. Anyway, what would you print on your towel? Skeets.
Well, do you want a basketball answer or an absolutely insane answer?
Wow.
You want both?
Probably insane. I mean, both.
I'll give you both. The basketball, Dwight Powell on my towel.
White towel.
Dwight Powell, remember him?
Dwight Powell on my towel.
He's alive.
He's still on the Mavericks.
Yeah, he's still on the Mavericks.
He's played 10 minutes in the postseason. This guy used to start games when they made their run, actually. I think he was starting a lot of those games when they made the Western Conference Finals run a couple years back. But yeah, Dwight Powell's funny. And then this stupid, really weird answer is I'm always afraid when I go to a beach and I put my towel down that somebody's going to steal it.
Right.
I don't know why. I don't know why anyone would really ever want to steal it. But how about putting on a white towel, like, skid marks? Like, make it look dirty.
No one's touching that.
Yeah, no one's touching it. That's what I'm thinking. But then the weird part is I'm going to come out, I'm all wet, and I grab my towel, and people are going to, like, they might see it. Like, oh, that guy's gross. What's he doing? Does he know there's shit all over his towel? But it's just a print.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Like calico cut pants.
Yeah, sort
you
of.
gotta give.
Yeah, sort of.
That sounds like a good plan.
I think there's something there.
That definitely seems like a sketch, man. Are you tired of people stealing your towel at the beach? Get the new skid marks towel.
Just a white towel with brown marks on it. No one would steal that.
Very cool.
No, you know what? Actually, people are more afraid of people stealing the stuff you put under your towel, your wallet, your bag. So this even works for that.
Yeah.
No one, you don't want to touch it. And you're gonna be like, this guy's got shit on his towel. What could he possibly have under his towel that I want? This guy's not all right. So it would work for
You don't wanna see what's under there.
theft prevention.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Besides skids,
Man, that was my answer.
what would you print on your towel?
Look, I don't know if we have the technology for this, but it would be similar to a hypercolor. The towel just says dry. And then you use it, and then it says not dry.
Says what?
No.
Oh.
Not dry. It has to always say dry. Oh, okay. That's stuck there.
The knot shows up.
Yeah, the knot shows up.
Yeah,
So then
okay.
you know. Would you know by touching it? Yes. But what if you could know from just looking at it?
cool.
That's what I'm saying.
Very interesting.
It's
Very
sort of
interesting
like,
stuff.
yeah, how cool or how cold your beer is. It depends on how cold how blue the
Rockies,
mountains
yeah,
are. Yeah,
yeah.
the Rockies.
Nice.
So this would, it would, depending on how much it said not, you would know if it was a little
Yeah,
faded.
I guess I can wait. I can just leave that sitting there for a little bit longer till it's dried out.
Yeah.
All right, Ash, what do you think? We've got two good answers to start.
Yeah, mine's not as good, but I was just say we put "We Kid You Not" on the towel just because it's a cool branding thing. I think it would be an awesome brand to have on anything, but put it on the towel. We kid you not.
For your last
That's your
name.
last
Yeah,
name.
that's my
Kid.
last name. Yeah,
That is
So
good.
you're going double kid.
double
Double
kid.
D.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, double D.
We kid you not. That's
We kid
good.
you
That
not.
is good. You trademark that?
Not yet. My wife came up with it, and then we were like, we should make a podcast. We made like 2 episodes and never did it again. But
Oh, yeah.
we
that
would.
was-
Now you got a studio.
We got yeah.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
All right. Well, that is a good name for a podcast. That's
Yeah.
a really good name.
Yeah.
Kid you not. Good.
All right, last one here. After going down 2-0 to Minnesota, Nuggets coach Michael Malone played his team a video of every sports personality, no one from this show, saying the series was over. I guess it worked. They responded very well. What's something you watch to get you pumped, Skeets?
I'm probably only picking this because we just celebrated the 5th anniversary of it, but Kawhi Leonard's game-winning buzzer beater in Game 7 versus the Sixers in the second round in 2019, where it bounced 4 times. I love watching specifically our friend Ken's clip where he was there in attendance. You know, good angle of it and just like how the crowd reacts, where, you know, it just goes dead quiet and then it bounces in and the place erupts. It's fun.
Nice.
Gets me pumped up, man, especially if you're going to go play some hoops.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy shot. And those videos, I mean, a lot of them from within the arena are amazing. So I'll go with that one.
Good. I was a little concerned when I asked this question. It's like, okay, what are we going to get here? We're going to get some pros versus Joes. Like, what are we going to get? You know what I mean? I didn't know if we're going to
Well, I was gonna go
off
like there's a lot of movie clips.
Right.
Like I was gonna go with my classic rad answer, you know, when Crew Jones is trying to deliver papers. What else? You got your Pacino speech and all that. I mean, there's lots of movie stuff to get you pumped up. But yeah, no, I'll go Kawhi. But what do you got,
Trey?
Yeah, I like living in the past as well. Nice. So over the summer, we're not watching as much basketball. Definitely we'll watch the WNBA, but when it gets to like September-ish, NBA season starting to heat up, I watch old Bulls games from the Dynasty days. There's so many of them on YouTube. Terrible quality, slow games, low scoring, but oh man, takes me back to the good old days. The good old days.
We'll get there again.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I talked to one of my friends is a teacher, a high school teacher back home. So I talked to his class this week for career day. I think he teaches freshmen in high school. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, not only were you not alive for the Dynasty days, you weren't even alive for the good Derrick Rose days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been 9 years since they won a home playoff game.
That's crazy.
Big.
It's one of the biggest markets in America. Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
Iconic franchise, but coming up short recently.
Lonzo Ball started a podcast recently.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
What is going on? Everybody's got a pod.
We Ball You Not, he called it. That was weird. I was surprised that was so similar to yours, Ash.
What do you got here, Ash?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I used to watch like this very specific Kobe Bryant video before every single basketball game, right? Like I would make sure like nobody come mess with me. I'm in the locker room before we go like warm up and stuff, watching this Kobe video. I'm just like, be like Kobe, Mamba mentality. Get in the zone, and it was awesome. But nowadays, since I'm hooping less and a lot fatter and a dad, just turn on a good Bluey episode, and then you're pumped up, you're ready to go, you're ready to dad now. Oh, what's Bandit getting into? Let's get it.
Did Bluey end, or was it just a season finale that everybody was talking about this one episode of Bluey I saw going
I think it may be kind of over. I think they announced that they're going to have like these little shorts every so often, but I think Bluey as we know it is kind of over for now at least.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy ending. I don't know. Spoilers, and I was crazy.
They killed off Bluey?
Do you want to know for real? Bluey grew up. That was the ending. It was like they thought the show ended, and then like a week later they were like, there's a new episode, and then when it came out, she was an adult with a kid, and now everybody's trying to figure out who the dad is. Like, not the kids are trying to figure out, but all the adults are on the internet like, who's the dad? Is it this dog? Is it this dog?
Wow. What a twist.
I know. I'm not really into Bluey like that, but I know a lot of people like my neighbor, like Colby, my neighbor. He's a big Bluey guy. They were kind of freaking out in their house for sure.
Who's the dad of this animated show?
Yeah.
It's very funny.
There's only 3 seasons of Bluey?
They all have like
there's like
100
episodes. Yeah. Okay, that makes a little more sense. I was like, there's no way there's only 3 seasons of this. What a show. Okay. Bluey grew up.
Bluey Grewy.
Good.
I did see they killed off young Sheldon though, right?
Yes. Dead.
Weird though. I mean, I'm surprised they did that because I thought he was the young version of Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
Turns out we were
totally
wrong.
different guy.
Totally different guy. Incredible. That's a twist. All right, that's rapid fire. That's the drop. Hopefully a classic, but you tell us. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Obviously subscribe, podcast listeners. 5-star ratings and reviews. Appreciate you guys joining us live here on a Friday. Talking about a blowout last night, but man, we got a Game 7 baby on Sunday. Maybe another one. We'll see what happens tonight in Indy. Got that big game on Saturday night. We'll be back on Monday to break it all down. And all the news. I think we get all NBA teams next week. We get all rookie teams next week. So we'll have some stuff to break down there as well as we get in to the conference finals. But until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, Ash has a new podcast or a podcast that's come back. We Kid You Not. It's coming back. That's what I've heard.
Episode 3 dropping soon.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, and new towels as well coming out. We Skid You Not with some skids on it.
Embrace the weekend, people.